I feel like our most requested video every single week is the props video. I mean, I don't know how. We've gone 9 weeks straight without a losing week. We've won 9 weeks in a row. We leave every prop video up. You can feel free to go back and fact check us on that one. I am that confident that we've just been crushing these. But before we get into it, of course, go down there, drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Feel free to leave a comment with any of your favorite props that you have, and you can find all these player props on this side here on Underdog Fantasy. What's great is when you go and sign up for Underdog Fantasy and use promo code FLOCK, they're going to match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to 100 with the link in the live chat, the description, the comment section. I'd imagine everybody here in the live chat's already signed up for Underdog, though. I'm just saying this for maybe the one person who isn't signed up watching this as a video later on. But I think that should be it. Of course, as always, before we get into the props this week, let's go through. Let's look at the props last week so we can just laugh at what we got wrong and go, oh my gosh, this guy's a genius at what we got right. So laughably, we missed on this one. We thought that if you were going to get an additional 99.5 passing yards for Marcus Mariota, then maybe he could go out there and he could have more passing volume than Justin Herbert. I'm sorry. I thought when we had no Mike Williams, when we had no Keenan Allen, when we had no Donald Parham, when DeAndre Carter was sick, and like the last healthy guy in Los Angeles was Joshua Palmer. For whatever reason, I thought if we were going to get an extra 100 passing yards on Marcus Mariota, he could go through and get there for us. It didn't happen. That's my fault. The other one that we missed is we looked at the history of Justin Fields in Chicago this year. He had only had one game with over 24 passing attempts previous to what he did last week, and he actually did have more than 24 passing attempts. We should have taken the passing yardage because I believe he only had 123 passing yards. Let me double check to see if we missed this one. I mean, I just kind of assume that we missed this one because obviously Justin Fields balled out last week, but he mainly balled out as a rusher. Yeah, no, 123 passing yards and 28 passing attempts. So great, great. So we missed that one, but we hit on Matt Collins, less than 40.5 receiving yards. We hit on Andy Dalton, less than 1.5 passing touchdowns. And you know, we hit on Derrick Henry and the free bet. So we went 3-2 last week. Thank you to the Derrick Henry bet. We needed you last week. Now, starting off this week, starting off a little strong here, ladies and gentlemen. We went through, and on Thursday, on Wednesday, we are pointing out this player prop of PJ Walker, less than 182.5, saying, take the under, take the under. I mean, you had heard us in the ad reads for Underdog in the videos saying that, hell, it's PJ Walker playing in a freaking hurricane. What are we looking for? It's going to be nasty weather. It's PJ Walker. Hit on that one to start this week, but our new props. Courtland Sutton, 54 receiving yards. Now, this is significantly lower than what you've come to expect from Courtland Sutton and the player props that we have seen pretty much this entire season. But with Courtland Sutton, the man just hasn't been good. Like, if we go through and look at Courtland Sutton so far this year, 72 receiving yards week 1, this bet would have lost. But then beyond that, hell, the next 2 weeks, he balls out. But it's because we had Jerry Jeudy injured. It's because Jerry Jeudy went down right at the beginning of the week 2 game against the Houston Texans. Then he probably shouldn't have played week 3. It was a game time decision. They ended up throwing him in there because they didn't have KJ Hamler. They had nobody. So those 2 weeks, Courtland Sutton smashed this. But beyond those weeks with Jerry Jeudy injured, 52 yards, 74 yards, and then over the past 3, 14 yards, 23 yards, 13 yards. Y'all know we built an entire brand this offseason calling Courtland Sutton the most overrated player in fantasy football. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to continue to build on that brand, continue to bet against Courtland Sutton because it's been working out for us. Now, someone that we wanted to make a big bet on this year, our second most drafted running back in Kenneth Walker. There are a couple interesting lines here. You could go with the Kenneth Walker more than less than 90 total yards, But I actually kind of like the 79.5 rushing yards, betting on Kenneth Walker to get to 80 total yards. I mean, if we're looking at Walker so far, if we look at the past 5 weeks, you have 88, 97, 167, 51, and 109 rushing yards. Tampa historically has been a defense where you kind of want to avoid their rush defense. I mean, they've been elite in that category, one of the best teams in the NFL defending against the run. But that hasn't been the case so far this season. This Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense has taken a massive step back defending the run. This game right now has a spread that's about 2.5 points. Should be a very close contest where I think that the Seattle Seahawks should have no issue in going through and running the ball effectively. We know that Tom Brady and the Buccaneers throw the ball at a rapid rate, so then you get a decent amount of plays run off for the Seattle Seahawks here. And how Kenneth Walker's been crushing this. Kenneth Walker just looks like a baller. Now, I don't want to say favorite line of the week, but pretty damn close to it. Nick Chubb, 91.5 total yards. You know we got to be taking more than 91.5 yards for Chubb. Going through and looking at the total yardage you've had from Nick Chubb so far this season. 143, 115, 113, 127, 134, 70. That's the 1 week you didn't get there. 94 and then 104. Nick Chubb's going over 100 total yards every single week. We get some leeway here at 91.5. Now with Nick Chubb in this matchup against the Miami Dolphins, hell, I mean, Chicago had no issue moving the ball down the field this past week. You had Justin Fields with 178 rushing yards. I'm actually excited about Nick Chubb in this contest. Of course, they're playing on the road. They are playing in Miami, but playing on the road in Miami is essentially a home game for Cleveland. I'd imagine maybe there as many Browns fans in the stadium as Dolphins fans. I'm joking, but still. I really like the line that we have on Chubb. I mean, very similar to the one that we previously had on Kenneth Walker. If you wanted to take the total yards on Walker, it'd be that same mark as Nick Chubb. Now, going in that same game, you know we have to do it. This video is being built on our brand. We're betting on we're betting on Kenneth Walker, betting on Jalen Waddle, betting against Courtland Sutton. You know this is a flock video. Jerry Jeudy, 7.5 receiving yards. I mean, I am surprised to see this mark, to be honest with you. And if you look at the game log so far for Jalen Waddle so far this season, yes, there are a couple weeks he didn't get there. He didn't get there against the Jets back in early October. He didn't get there against the Bengals in week 4. But what was special about those two games? Yeah, you didn't have Tua Tagovailoa. And this guy here in Jalen Waddle was dealing with the groin injury. Outside of those 2 weeks, 69, 171, 102, 129, 88, 106, 85. He's getting there with room to spare. I mean, the Miami Dolphins offense on a roll this past week. What is crazy? So let me look up the NFL leaders in receiving yards. You are going to see that obviously we have Tyreek Hill at the very top. If you wanted to go bet on Tyreek Hill this week, I'm not going to fault you for it. Just the Tyreek Hill mark is so much more aggressive than Jalen Waddle. Tyreek Hill is at like 92.5 yards. I would rather bet on the Waddle at 70.5. But yeah, if we're looking at receiving yards so far this season, you have Tyreek, Jefferson, Diggs, Kupp, and then Jalen freaking Waddle. The man is an elite level receiver. Any other wide receiver here would be significantly higher with this prop. But if the Nick Chubb prop is not my favorite one, the Jonathan Taylor one is pretty damn close. Now, y'all know, I mean, I've spent the past few weeks going through and saying buy low on Jonathan Taylor, buy low on Jonathan Taylor. And yes, it looks like maybe we are being too aggressive telling people that. I was telling people to trade Leonard Fournette and go get Jonathan Taylor. I was telling people to get trade Ramondre Stevenson and go get Jonathan Taylor. And I know a lot of people have hated to hear us saying that, and I completely understand why. I mean, if you were looking at JT, he does have some serious red flags. I mean, Jonathan Taylor does have some things you need to be worried about, of course, and I never argued against that. But the ceiling you have with Jonathan Taylor makes it where, in my opinion, from a fantasy football standpoint, if you can go and trade Leonard Fournette, who has his own red flags, for Jonathan Taylor, a player that I believe has that significant higher ceiling, I'm going to be fine with it. However, with all that being said, for Jonathan Taylor to have his first game back here at 95.5 total yards. I can't get behind this. I feel like we have to go ahead and bet against it. Like Underdog right now has the betting lines. Jonathan Taylor, more yardage than Nick Chubb this week. I'm hoping that our play to trade on the super cheap for Jonathan Taylor works out, but maybe we can hedge that bet a little bit and take the less than 95.5 total yards for Jonathan Taylor, who's gotten here once this season, and that was back in week 1. I'm hoping we are wrong. Trust me, we have Jonathan Taylor on one too many teams. But let's go through and take the less than 95.5 total yards. Probably my favorite prop of the week. But of course, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you have not done so already, go down there, drop a like on the live stream. I can see that we are closing in on 100 likes on the stream. So please, if you're watching this right now, go down there and drop a like on this bad boy. Thank you again. If y'all want to check out any of these props on Underdog Fantasy, of course, those Thursday ones are no longer available. But here are some ones you can look at. Go sign up for Underdog Fantasy with the link in the live chat, the link in the description, the link in the comment section. When you sign up for Underdog and use promo code FLOCK, they're going to match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to 100. So go deposit $10, the link in the description, available in damn near every state. Immediately have $20 in your account. But thank you again. I appreciate you. Hope you have a great day, and hope we get to see you in the live stream tonight.